Thanks for joining us, Ron.
Thank you.
So I'm going to assume that most of the people in this audience have been inside an Apple store, so we don't have to explain too much about your past jobs. At least we'll get into some of that later. But in terms of Enjoy, I'm betting some of them are less familiar with it. So what is Enjoy?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me here. You know, my experience is really in retail, and I spent 30 years in retail stores. And about halfway through my career, Amazon started a little bookstore, and online retail started to grow. And then I realized that there's something interesting that could be a new platform, which is how do you deliver personal service for someone who wants to buy online? Because one of the observations from my time at Apple is Apple makes the easiest to use products on the planet. Yet look at how busy the stores are with people asking questions, getting help. So what about the rest? You know, how do you deliver help in this digital world we live in?
And so, as I understand the model, basically you order the product, but then it comes, an expert basically comes with it, and they help you set it up.
It's as simple as this: is you just order a new product, pick a time and place, and one of our experts will hand deliver for free that product and help you get up and running. And they'll spend as much time as you want. We actually set aside an hour for the expert to help you. If you need less, we'll spend less. If you need more, we'll spend more.
And so actually one of the new things that you guys are going to be able to sell is the new iPhone, right?
Yeah, because for a lot of people, the new iPhone comes out this Friday. It's always exciting and hard to get the new iPhone. Do I order online? I'm on my own. Do I go to the Apple store and wait in line? It's pretty neat. This Friday, you'll be able to go to the AT&T website, order your new phone, pick Enjoy, and as soon as 4 hours later, wherever you want, could be your home, could be your office, could be a coffee shop, anywhere in the Bay Area, New York City, you could have your iPhone delivered. And it's free. It's the same price as buying anywhere else. And we think that's really exciting. So what's fun about this weekend, if you order your phone, like on Friday morning, go to the AT&T site, by the end of the weekend, you'll have a new phone that you'll be enjoying.
So if the additional service is free, how are you guys making money?
Yeah, well, it's really simple. I started out talking about stores are the main way we buy things still. The internet's doing well, it's growing, but it's still only about 7 out of every 100 purchases. Therefore, every product we buy, from a phone to a pen, has a margin that allows the store to make a little bit of money. All we do is invest in a person, and we train them well, and we invest in delivery, so we can deliver a person to provide help a lot cheaper than a store can build a store and deliver a product.
Okay, fair enough. So you talked about seeing people coming into the Genius Bar and realizing that everyone needs tech help no matter how simple the product is. How did you go from that to actually saying, all right, I'm going to start a company, which, as I understand it, is also your first startup?
Yeah, well, it was interesting. You might have heard I went to a little company in Texas called JCPenney. And it was really hard. And after I left that, I got a lot of calls from people. Hey, Ron, could you talk to me about my business? So one of the people that called was John McFarlane, the CEO of Sonos. And he said, Ron, how should I go to market? I've got this product that people love, and we work really hard to make it easy, but it's actually still kind of hard to pick that speaker, put it in the right place in the room, download the app, connect it to my wireless network. There are 50 music services that work with Sonos. How should I do this? And I said, well, we're in a mobile world. Why don't you take the product to the customer? And he called me back and said, I'd like to do it, but I don't know if we have enough volume to build out a whole sales force to do it. And the more people I talked to, it seemed like a good idea. So we decided that if someone could aggregate all the best products, I was the only retail employee, had the benefit of a huge company to provide financial capital and operation skills. But we built a business from scratch. And years later, you have 400 stores around the world, lots of employees. This is a lot like building the Apple stores, except you don't have the infrastructure. So you got to build it out. You got to raise capital. You got to go build your team. You got to develop more on your own, which is actually in many ways more exciting, but it's hard. It's a lot of work.
Do you feel like a lot of that work was done for you because you were able to say, look, I'm Ron Johnson?
Well, no, I think having experience, it really opens doors. So I was able to go talk to John McFarlane, to go meet the CEO of AT&T. Probably with raising capital, you have the advantage of a track record. And sometimes your track record, it's better that you had some wins, some successes and some failures, because you learned from both. But it helped to have experience, there's no doubt.
Right. And you also mentioned, that you're investing in people essentially is what Enjoy is doing as a business. I think in the tech world right now, there's a lot of debate about this idea of like 1099 workers, contractors versus full-time employees. As I understand it, the Enjoy experts are all employees.
Yeah, from day one, our product from Enjoy is really a person. You might order a GoPro camera, but our product is a person who delivers an amazing experience. So we decided if our product's a person, we should invest the most in that person. So we decided, a year and a half ago that everyone's going to be an employee. They'll be salaried. They'll have stock in the company. They'll be exceptionally well trained. They'll be able to choose their own hours like you could working in the contractor economy, but you're a full-time, salaried employee of Enjoy. And that was the best decision we made, because that's why we have such great people.
Can you talk a little bit more about why you think it was such a good decision?
Yeah, ultimately, people want the freedom of the mobile economy. I think most people today would love to name their own schedule when they work. I mean, think of it. You go to drive for Uber, you can drive whenever you want. You can drive wherever you want. People really want freedom, and that's what the iPhone's given us. But ultimately, when you work, you don't have that, because people give you schedules. So what if you could give someone the freedom to name their own hours? Our employees every week maintain a schedule. They might be a 40-hour salaried employee, but every week they tell us what 40 hours they want to work. One week could be a Monday, one week could be a Saturday. But they get the security of a great job. They've got a guaranteed salary, they've got benefits, they've got stock, they've got training, they're part of a team. So we think we've figured out how to create a really great job for those people that want to work mobilely. And so that's the benefit. That's allowed us to attract really great experts.
I remember reading when you guys launched that a lot of the initial experts were going to be college students. Is that?
No, that wasn't us.
That
was probably
sorry. Well, can you talk about who some of those experts are and where you're finding them?
We look for people that are really smart, love technology, love people. And we want people to be authentic. They don't have to fit the mold. We've got all kinds of people. 30% are female. We'd love to have even more, but 30% of our experts are female. They're all ages, all ethnicities. We have experts in New York, serving New York. We have experts in the Bay Area. They're unbelievable people. And the evidence of that is we now are in the thousands of visits. We've been doing this for about 20 weeks. We started out in the tens, and then the hundreds, we're now in the thousands.
You mean that's how many?
In terms of number of visits we've done, for customers.
Total number of visits.
But as we number in the thousands, it's pretty clear our experts are phenomenal. Our average rating, I think, is 4.96 on a 5-point scale. 99% of the time, the customer says, that's the best buying experience I've ever had. So our experts are phenomenal.
And your experts, they're not selling anything. They're just there to help.
They're just looking at your heart. They just help.
Right.
And that's what they're and it's hard to do. So I decided I am not trained on any of our products well enough to do an Enjoy visit. And a couple of weeks ago, our training team said, Ron, with the iPhone launching, why don't you get badged so you could deliver a visit for a customer? I said, okay, sign me up. So I signed up for this session to be judged, but I looked at what I'd have to learn, and it would have taken me 30 hours, even though I've been using an iPhone since before the first one launched, to really understand how I could meet all the needs customers might have. Switching from Android to Apple, on and on, downloading all their contacts, being able to demonstrate, the new operating system. It takes a lot of work to be an expert.
Wait, so did you get badged?
I didn't.
So I should not ask you for
Don't
help.
ask me for help, but our experts can.
So I imagine that one of the challenges there is that on the one hand, you want them to be experts on particular products. You also want them to be generalists in a certain sense. You don't want someone who's just badged in one area, but that turns into a lot of training fairly quickly, doesn't it?
It does. The key to being an expert, the art of our company is the human connection. And every time an expert goes to a visit, they could be in a coffee shop, an office, a home. It's a person that comes from all different backgrounds. Some are really tech-savvy millennials, like getting a boosted board. But someone else might be getting their very first smartphone. And you've got to have the people skills to create a great visit in every circumstance. And that's actually really hard to do. And that's why we train people so well, we select people so well, we invest in our team, because they are the heart of Enjoy.
You talked about this also as a go-to-market strategy for some of these different products. Do you see Enjoy as ultimately competing with different retail stores? I mean, is this the new Apple Store?
Yeah, no. The reality is, there are a lot of places to buy products, and that's actually good. There's times it's nice to have the convenience of ordering from Amazon and having it delivered to our door. There are other times you just want help, and that's where it's neat to use Enjoy. But I think forever, we're going to have lots of distribution points for every product. At Apple, when we started out, I was the biggest advocate of let's have broad distribution. If we aren't at Best Buy, someone else will be. If we're not at Target, someone else will be. I think giving customers choice is a really good thing. I just want to help create the best choice.
Okay.
And if we do that, we'll build a great business.
Right. So, and then when you talk about also helping the customer, right? Part of that, at least when I think about when I need help with a product, some of that is getting started. Some of that is also figuring out what the right product is, or somebody's explained something to me and then I thought I understood it and then I try to do it myself and I completely fail. I mean, are those, do you see yourself as getting more involved in other parts of the process?
But the reality, most people, when they buy a product today, do their research on the web. They go to the partner website. They go to YouTube videos. They look at ratings, reviews. They talk to friends. There's a lot of ways we can kind of narrow in on what product we want.
Right.
When you're ready to buy, you kind of then look at where should I buy it. Now, you can always just call us at 1-800-GO-ENJOY. And we've got people sitting by that will help you with their purchase. And about 20 to 30% of the time, we actually do phone support to help someone decide exactly which product's right for them. But our expertise is on getting launched. It's taking that first flight with your drone.
Right.
It's making your first GoPro movie. When you enjoy a GoPro, we actually shoot footage, import into the computer, edit, and we share before we leave. So that's really our secret sauce.
Right.
But we can help, if you need help buying too.
Yeah, it's funny because there was an Enjoy expert. I got to do a little demo visit, and he came by and he wanted to shoot. He brought the GoPro, which I had not tried out myself, but we were in the TechCrunch office, so there wasn't really a ton of things to shoot. I was hoping maybe we could strap it to a dog or something, but all the dogs were out of the office. But
you could have strapped it to one of your speakers.
That we could have strapped it to you right now. So what do you see as next for Enjoy?
Oh, for us, it's really simple. We're building this company, we like to say one visit at a time. It's all about delivering quality visits. Our entire team now is ready for Friday with the iPhone launch.
Right.
That's probably the biggest moment for us yet. We hope this will be an inflection point. The new iPhone's very popular. If you go to the Apple website, if you want the Plus version and you wanted to order today, it'd be 3 or 4 weeks out. On AT&T, it's 3 or 4 weeks out. We'll have those available this Friday.
Do you have the new iPhone with you
We've
right
got
now?
the new iPhone. We're in stock on all the models. We're ready to go on Friday. And so for us, that's what's next. Because you build a company one step at a time. If you get ahead of yourself, you really lose quality. Mm-hmm. So what's next for us is really the iPhone launch.
And then what markets are you available in right now?
Right now, we're available throughout the Bay Area. From Marin to San Jose over to Livermore up to Walnut Creek. We're throughout Manhattan, including parts of Brooklyn and up pretty north on the island. And those are our 2 first markets. As we move into next year, we'll start to slowly expand, to other markets throughout the United States.
Do you know what the next one will be?
We do.
what is it going to be?
I can't tell you.
Okay, fair enough.
No, we're just keeping it confidential for now.
So you talked about thousands of visits so far. Can you say anything else about the consumer response? One thing I'm particularly curious about is who are the people who are actually using it? Because I think when we think of tech support, getting up and running, I think there are certain ideas in our head about grandma or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. When we launched, we assumed we would really appeal to an older, less tech-savvy customer. And it turns out we do. But the majority of our customers are young millennials and what you might call moms at home with young babies, kids.
Okay.
The young millennials love us for the convenience. Because when you order from Enjoy, we will hand deliver whenever, wherever you want within 4 hours, as soon as 4 hours. So that's a pretty good feature for someone who cares about speed. But then they learn that there's a lot of value they can get from the visit. So we're appealing to a broad range of people, from people who care about speed to people that care about help. So it's much broader than we anticipated.
What's your most popular product?
Right now, the most popular products are two. It'd be iPhones. We've been partners with AT&T since we launched.
Okay.
Sonos music systems are very popular. Sonos is a great product. It's easy to add them to your home. They're constantly innovating in their software. There's a lot we can teach and train about how to use that. That's been very popular. The DJI drones, have become a very popular product. And then after that, probably the GoPro cameras and then the boosted skateboards.
Right.
So those are the
big a lot of things.
It's a lot of things, I guess, yeah.
So, you also worked, like we said, at Apple for a while.
Yeah.
You worked with Steve Jobs, who is,
Sure.
I hear he's kind of a big deal in Silicon, was kind of very admired in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Are there things that you take from that experience that, shape how you want to lead, enjoy, and be a CEO?
That's a good question. I worked with Steve directly for 12 years. And it was, like a gift. To work with someone of his intelligence, his intuition, his skills. But the big takeaway from Steve is trust your instincts, and everything you do it as well as you can. Don't get ahead of yourself. Remember that Stanford journey? He talked about life's a journey, his Stanford commencement speech. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You always can looking back. But make sure that next step you take is the best one you can do. And so working with Steve was a real privilege. I learned things every day. I think about those lessons all the time. And I think they really do help me. Because he's a fabulous person, a fabulous leader, and he's with many people today.
There's also been sort of this cottage industry that's kind of come up since then. Books about him. We've got a couple documentary that just came out, a movie that's coming out shortly. Not all of them are quite as flattering as your depiction of him. But are there things that you've seen that you feel captured the man that you knew?
Well, it's interesting. I made the decision when Steve passed away not to read any of the books until I retired.
Oh, okay.
So I literally have not read a sentence from Walter's book or any of the books.
Why wait until you're retired?
Well, my reasoning is I think I'm still too close to that time. And I think it'll be fascinating at some point to go back and read it through other people's eyes. So I'm not one who can really give you an opinion on that, on who's got it right. Steve was a very interesting person, and so I can't answer your question.
Fair enough. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Ron.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.